Hello, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be going through how I built my table saw table on caster wheels. I started out by marking these two pieces of timber. I think these are CLS, just cheap £4 timbers from Wix's at every 600 and squaring the lines across. I then cut 10 timbers at 1060mm. That's 41 3/4 inches for any Americans that may be watching. I then fixed these together with 120mm screws, using 2 on each piece, so 20 fixings in total, which will make it sturdy enough. I'll go in first with a pilot bit, a little bit smaller than the screws to help it go in, because these are quite long. They're probably a bit too big for the timber I'm using, but I accidentally picked up 120s instead of 100, so that's what I had to use. It was at this point, when I was building up the second frame, top or the bottom, whichever one it was, I realised I didn't actually buy enough timber to do the legs. But it wasn't a bad thing actually, because I wanted something a bit sturdier than the CLS for the legs. So I've got a scrap pile outside, which I've got some old 4x2 and really old stuff that's come out of the house, the old rafters.
3, 2, 1.
With his Beyblades, bless him, so I gave him the battle and broke it. Broke his Beyblade in one go, then I had to glue it for him.
Oh. Let me have a look, might be able to glue it.
That's what it...
Right, it's gone back in now.
Which is along it.
Yeah.
So if your bay hits the edge, it goes around and can hit your opponent with even more speed. It's called an extreme dash.
Get a bit of glue on that. Fixed.
Let's go.
I then attached the legs to the frame. I went with 6 because they're quite sturdy pieces of wood, and it's plenty strong enough for what I'm using. And I didn't put no timber on the end of the frame this end where I've put the 2 legs on, as you can see, because when I flip that over the table saw is going to be cut into that area, so I'm going to end up putting frame and bracing around that later on anyway, so I thought save myself cutting through the timber and putting one in there for no reason. I'll just leave that out for the moment. And as luck would have it, these ended up landing right on the centre stud, so I had to notch it out around the stud, but it ended up making a stronger joint in the end, so there's a few more cuts either end of the legs, but in the end it works out alright. I went with these big old lock-off caster wheels that bolt through. I've had them sitting in the workshop for years, but and just put a little bit of wood glue on the corners and put some 50mm screws in them, and they were solid. On the bottom, and this MDF panel on the top, and then varnished it, give it a few coats, make it nice and shiny. Now I have to cut this section out to fit the table saw in and build a shelf here for it to sit on, and the dust extractor can sit behind it then. So yeah, I'm going to get to that now. So for this section I just cut it with a circular saw, went in freehand, and then cleaned up the corners with a hand saw. You could use a track saw or lay a level on there and clamp it on to get straighter cuts, but my cuts are pretty straight anyway, not blowing my own trumpet, but they come out pretty good. It slid in there with a couple of mil either side. So there's a little tip for you if you ever want to cut something without it dropping while you're doing it. If you get 3 pieces of material that are the same thickness as the one you're cutting and glue them together with one sat back, it'll become like a little hold. And also I need to get a new mitre mate because the glue's nearly run out. I've got loads of spray left as always, but hardly any glue. So on the first cut I only went through shallow, so I left a little bit of material on the bottom, then I just set the depth and cut this out, and you'll see the timber drop in a sec. And then after that you can put the block on, just slides on, and that'll hold the cut there while you finish the other 2 cuts the other side, and the piece won't drop and you won't get any tear out or anything like that. And then it's just a little plunge cut across the back. You can drill a hole and jigsaw it out if you wanted, but it's easier to plunge the saw in and run it across and then clean the corners up with a hand saw. This Milwaukee vacuum is really handy actually. And at first when I bought it I was thinking, why did I buy this? But if you're just making little bits of messes around the workshop here and there, it's so easy to pick up. I'm going to use the cutout for the shelf and the table sort of sit on, be floating there. So I've just got to put timber across here, build a frame, sit that shelf on it, put the saw on, and then route some grooves in the top. Should be good to go. Shelves cut out. Just got to get that bit of framing built around that and get that all fixed in, then chuck the saw in and have a look. Lovely fit. Now I've just got to router in 2 grooves there. Nice and flush. Was a little bit 2mm higher I made it, so the wood runs off it smoothly. And then I've got a couple of old drawers here I'm going to put on down the sides.
bench dogs down there, and a router table in the end. Bench dog time. I put these down this side. Just going to mark out 96mm centres. Eventually I'm going to put a wood vice on the side of the table here. So yeah, to put the bench dogs in this area. So I'm just going to mark them out, drill them out, and then router them. Whatever you're going to be doing, you'll set these holes out, vice versa. I'm just going to make a little block with a scrap bit of wood, so I know all my marks are going to be 96mm because it's quicker than marking them all out with a tape measure. Mark there. I don't think I'm going to come that far, but I just want to check they ain't clashing. But I probably won't come that far anyway, but I would like to go over this way with some dog holes, so yeah, just going to check these, then I can see if I've got to move them or not.
For the dog holes I used a 20mm spay bit. So I think they come out about 19.5mm, these ones that I've got, so 20mm is a nice snug fit. And what I was doing to not burst out the bottom of this was drilling halfway through and then going underneath and just scoring the wood, and then going back on the top and drilling them right through, and you get a nice clean hole that way. And grab my trusty Hoover and clean up all the shavings. When you're setting the chamfer bit in your router, you only want to be down a few mil, just so you can put a tiny little neck on the top of the holes. That way they slide in there easier.
All these dog holes are drilled out and routed. Bench dogs fit in nice. What I've done is just left the marks in between. I've just done a row, missed a row both ways, and I've left the marks on the table in between. So if I want to come back and add more in, I'll try these out first, and then if I want more holes I'll just come back and add them in.
Yeah, another good thing about this table is it's the perfect height to put my feet up on when I'm sitting at a store editing. So that was a happy coincidence. And the caster wheels, they're great actually, because gives me the chance to move it from one end of the workshop to the other if I need more space or whatever. And when you lock these caster wheels off, they really do go solid. So I'm actually happy with them, because I know you can get some that are a bit wobbly, but these, absolute solid. And that's a cross-cut sled, working well. The grooves, they're long enough at the moment for what I'm using it for, so yeah, it all turned out pretty well. And if you like this video and you want to see more, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll be posting more videos coming up soon. I'm just a bit busy at the moment, so yeah, thank you for watching and bye.